This happened a few years ago near Concrete, Washington, along the Skagit River. My friend Jake and I wanted to get far away from everything. No campsites, no people, just the woods. We parked off an old forest road just before sunset and hiked in for about an hour until we found a clearing near the river. It was perfect. Tall trees, thick brush, and the steady sound of the Skagit moving through the darkness. We set up our tents, built a fire, and started cooking. At first, everything felt normal, peaceful. Then, sometime after dark, we heard it. A low grunt from deep in the woods. Jake looked at me. "You hear that?" I nodded. A few seconds later, it came again. A deep huffing sound. We both thought the same thing. Bear. We grabbed our guns and stood up, watching the tree line. The firelight barely reached the woods, and beyond that was just darkness. For a minute, nothing happened. Then we heard it again. Closer. A grunt, followed by a heavy exhale. Huff. It didn't sound like a bear. It sounded deliberate. Then branches started snapping. Not small twigs, large branches. Something big was moving through the trees. We backed up toward the tents, scanning the darkness. Then the sound came from behind us. Another grunt. That's when we realized there was more than one. We stood there, completely still. Then a rock came flying out of the woods and landed near the fire. We both jumped. Another one hit Jake's tent, then another. Rocks started coming from different directions, then sticks, then branches. Whatever was out there, it was surrounding us. The sounds got louder, heavy footsteps moving through the woods, grunts, huffs, low vocal sounds that didn't sound like anything we'd ever heard before. At one point, something large moved just beyond the edge of the firelight, a massive shadow between the trees, too tall, too wide, and it moved on two legs. We didn't speak. We didn't move. We just stood there as the rocks kept coming and the sounds circled us. Hours passed like that. Every time it went quiet, another rock would hit near the fire, or something would snap a branch just out of sight. At one point, something slammed into my tent hard enough to shake it. We didn't sleep at all. We stayed by the fire, feeding it wood to keep the flames high. But whatever was out there didn't leave. It stayed just beyond the trees, watching, moving, letting us know it was there. Finally, just before sunrise, everything stopped. No sounds, no movement. The forest slowly came back to life. Birds started chirping. The river sounded louder again, like nothing had happened. We packed up fast. Neither of us wanted to stay another minute. As we started hiking back to the truck, I couldn't shake the feeling we were still being followed. Every few minutes we'd hear something behind us, a branch snapping, leaves crunching, always just far enough away that we couldn't see anything, but close enough to know something was there. We didn't turn around. We just kept walking. Faster. When we finally reached the truck, we both stopped. On the passenger window, there was a handprint. Huge, much larger than any human hand. The fingers were long, stretched wide across the glass. Then we saw another one on the windshield, like something had stood there and touched the truck. We didn't say a word. We got in, locked the doors, and left. Neither of us has gone back to that spot, but I still think about that night, about the sounds, the rocks, the shadows moving through the trees, and the feeling that we were never alone out there, not for a second.